Anyways, we are back. I'm just laughing because I forgot to unmute the mic. So, as you can see behind me, I am finally going to be talking about all my current physical Switch games. So, I think there's like 42 games currently that I have, and I still have three more coming. Actually, correction, four more coming. I have Let's Go Eevee, which is a Japanese version coming. I don't know exactly when. It has been over a month since I ordered it, so it should hopefully be here Monday or Tuesday of next week. So I have that game coming. I have Hollow Knight coming, which is an ESRB version, so North American version. I have Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns, which is a Japanese version, as well as New Pokemon Snap, which is a Japanese version, also coming. So those four games are currently coming. I know at the time of recording, Let's Go Eevee has shipped alongside a couple of the other ones that I have in same behind me, have already been delivered from that same order. So yeah, so there's a bunch of games that I'm still waiting for. Like I said, Hollow Knight, Detective Pikachu Returns, as well as New Pokemon Snap. If I take a quick look, because I didn't get, I didn't get Hollow Knight through Amazon or eBay or anywhere else. I got through Fangamer just because of everything going on right now. So I'll probably remove the flag that I have sort of above my bed. I'm still tempted to, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to. But yeah, so I do have Hollow Knight coming. That was one game that has always been on my list, but there's always been games above it that I've wanted to play. So I will probably at some point do a full, basically, catalog of all my games that I currently have as an Excel list. So yeah, so currently the ones that I currently have, I'm looking at another list right now. I have Let's Go Eevee coming. I have Pokemon Sword digitally. I do need to buy a physical copy of that at some point. I have to get Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I have New Pokemon Snap coming. I have Shining Pearl already in my collection. Legends Arceus I have. Pokemon Violet I have. And I have Detective Pikachu also coming. So the two that I need, Pokemon Sword and Rescue Team DX, which is Mystery Dungeon. And then I would pretty much have a complete either US slash Japanese version of them. Like, obviously I would love to have ESRB versions of all of them, but a lot of them are very, very expensive. Like, for example, Pokemon Sword off Amazon, they're asking like $85 for it. I could literally get a used copy for around 60. So yeah, so I am sort of keeping my eyes out for that as well. I don't really care if they're ESRBs or North American versions or Japanese versions. They all play in English. And you might be wondering, like, what about there is one that I actually needed to put into the list here. Um, um, so there's basically 3 that I do need to get. I said 2, but I forgot one actually. Pokken Tournament DX. I probably won't get it right away because it is multiplayer only. There isn't a traditional campaign, shall we say, like most of them that I have, like Let's Go Eevee, Sword and Shield, Rescue Team, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, Violet, that sort of stuff, right? So yeah, so basically how I currently have it is I have the game title, when they were released. Do I have it? Yes or no? Like, what do I have them digitally or physically? What version? Are they Japanese or are they North American? What is their price? Do I have, which is yellow? Do I need them, which is in red? And these are everything that has been released physically. It has to have a physical release for it to go into the collection. So games like like Pokemon Quest, right? That's digital only, right? Or Cafe Remix, right? That's digital only, right? So Pokemon Unite is again digital only. So I'm talking about games that have a physical physical release. So there's basically 3 that I do need to get, but technically there's only 2 that have a campaign, shall we say, or single player aspect of it. Unless you guys have played Pokken Tournament DX, let me know if there is sort of a traditional campaign type of thing in it. But if I do come across it at a reasonable price, I might end up jumping on it. But for right now, it's one that I'm going to be leaving out of the collection behind me. So yeah, so you might be wondering, oh, when does Detective Pikachu return, and when does Snap arrive and Eevee? So those games, considering I bought those off of eBay, I currently have no idea, like in terms of when Eevee will arrive. I'm hoping Eevee arrives next week, actually this coming week actually. But and then in 2 weeks, hopefully, starting from between the 25th to basically the 5th, I think it is. Did I do this right? Let me just double check my eBay order here. Yeah. Okay, I did do it correctly. From March 25th to May 22nd, Pokemon Detective Pikachu could arrive, and then new Pokemon Snap could arrive on the 1st of April to the 29th of May. So yeah, so a little bit of time there. But like I said, Eevee should arrive any day now. But anyways, and then Hollow Knight, I have no idea when that's going to ship out. It hasn't even been fulfilled yet. Then it's going to take about probably 10 to 12 days for shipping. So, not too bad. So, without further ado, let's get into these games because there's quite a lot of them. There's over 40 of them now. And keep in mind, I've been building this collection since July of 2023. So, just under 2 years. And I already have 40 some odd games, which is crazy. But I do want to talk about the rack unit that I'm using. That is actually just a 3D printed one that I found, meant for Switch games. They do have one actually, same designer did the one for the Switch, did one for Xbox One and PS4. So the one I'm using for 360 is basically the same as the one for the PS4 and Xbox One games, but I've modified it slightly, not much, just due to the size, so then the 360 games fit. So that's really the only difference there between them. If I remember, I'll try to leave a link down below for those shelves. If you like what you see behind me, how I have them, they don't take that long to print. But what I will say is that it is a multi-part or multi-plate print. But you can fit, I think, about 2 of them on one plate. Except for the top and bottoms are a single plate because they're quite big. But all the sides you can do 2 at a time. That's what I've done. So now let's start with the games. Atari 50. This is the Steelbook Extended Edition, which is actually kind of funny because I was actually looking at getting a Europe version of this exact collection, but I popped into what I would consider my local GameStop, which isn't really that local. It's about 40 minutes away, but they had it. I was like, huh, all right, I'll grab it. So you would see it sitting at the bottom of my rack there, just because it doesn't really fit in with the standard red shelf or red edge, shall we say, of the rest of the Switch games. So I did finally pick up Star Wars Heritage Pack. So this is 7 games, 1 cartridge. The only reason why it says downloaded microSD required, that's for like updates and stuff like that. Everything else is on the cartridge. I actually picked this up from Best Buy. Right before, I think it was right around New Year's actually, or just a little bit before New Year's. So yeah, so very, very fun game. I need to play more of it. And I didn't pay much for it. I think I paid like $50 for it. So if you can find it for a deal, I would recommend it. 7 different games, 1 cartridge. Keeping in the theme of Star Wars, Skywalker Saga, yes. So finally picked this game up. This was actually brand new. I think I paid like 20 or $30 for it. So decent price for it. And I actually wanted it as well. So I was super happy to finally pick it up on Switch. And the dumb thing is, like, I already have it on PC now. It's like, oh, god damn it. But my Switch version has a lot more DLC than my PC version. So then we get into Minecraft, which is actually the second physical Switch game I bought. My first one is way at the bottom here, which you can't see. But yeah, I picked this up, again, about $30, brand new. I do like to have Minecraft on pretty much any console I can get it on. I've had it on 3DS at one point. I've had it on iPad at one point. I have it on 360. I have it on Xbox One. I have it on PS4. I have it on PS3. I pretty much have it on every console you can think it was on. I've had it. Animal Crossing, one of my newer additions to the collection. And there's a funny story with this one. It's not that I knew about obviously Animal Crossing and all that, but I was never wanting to spend. I was always hoping for a used copy, but I was never able to pick one up quick enough, shall we say. So during a couple weeks ago, actually, I needed to jump online from Amazon, pick some stuff up from Amazon that I needed to replace. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll finally pick up Animal Crossing. I do need to get back into playing it. Like most of the games behind me, I just don't have enough time to play them, just because I'm doing so many other games at the moment. So I do need to jump back into Animal Crossing. I might actually look at doing an Animal Crossing stream, maybe. Who knows? Then we have Fae Farm. Yes. Again, another really weird farming game. Again, need to do some content into that. There's also a very funny story with this game as well. So I originally ordered it with express shipping from Video Game Plus, who's somewhere out of Toronto area. And I typically never pay express shipping, like basically next day shipping. And this is on a weekend too, right? So I know they won't really be working on weekends. They'll start back up on Monday. I was hoping they would ship it on Tuesday. I would have it here Wednesday. Unfortunately, due to what ended up being a shipping glitch, I didn't know it was a shipping glitch until after I reached out to them and basically said, hey, yeah, I ordered this. This is the order number. Like, what's going on? Like, it says that it was canceled. And this is already after I had ordered the exact same game from Amazon with 1 day shipping. Like, basically I paid like, yeah. So I ended up at one point having 2 copies of this exact same game. Lucky enough, I went to a buddy's cottage with my spare copy, and I basically said, hey, like, do you want it? Like, it's brand new. I haven't even really opened it. All I did was take off the plastic wrap that it came in, like, when you buy a new game. That's it. And he's like, sure. So he has my other copy. So I ended up buying 2 copies. Just due to a stupid glitch. If I was thinking it might have been a glitch, but you just never know when it comes to shipping. So I was like, you know what, screw it, just to be on the safe side, just in case if it is a glitch, or if it's not a glitch, I'll buy a second copy, just so then I know I have an actual copy. And then they got back to me and said, yeah, no, it is a glitch, we haven't even shipped it yet. And I'm like, at that point, I'm just like, oh, crap. But it had already been too late because I already had received it. So I was like, great. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition. Again, I do have Borderlands 3 on PS3. Sorry, not PS3. Xbox One, excuse me. But mine is the Super Deluxe Edition on Xbox One. And then I have the Standard Edition on PC because it was free through Epic Games at the time. But when I saw this brand new $20, I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go. Has all the content on it, like that's what the download is for, is all the DLC and stuff, but base game's on the cartridge. So I was like, for $20 for a complete Borderlands, I was like, you know what, I'll do it. And the funny thing is, I now have a complete Borderlands collection on Xbox One digitally, because the Pandora's Box collection at one point was on massive sale. I think it was like $20 or $30, and I'm like, you know what, for the content that it gives, grab it. And at the same time, I also picked up the campaign for Halo Infinite, excuse me. So I do finally have the campaign for Infinite. But yeah, so I picked it, Pandora's Box collection up and Master Chief collection, or not collection, but the campaign for Infinite. So I have those finally. Now we get into... I guess we can stay with the US stuff for now. Oh, actually, no, this is a US version, actually. Which I didn't realize. Death Smiles, 1 and 2. This is one of the few... Actually, like I said, now we're getting into a lot of the import stuff. I've wanted to actually play this for quite a while. Just, again, could never really find a copy, even on 360 at the time. So it's like when I saw that they had a Switch version that had both of them, I was like, you know what, I'll grab it. So this one came from PlayAsia. So a lot of the games I have in here, except for I think one other game, came from PlayAsia. Some of these came from Amazon. Some of them also came from GameStop. But again, I cannot remember where I bought everything. It's over 40 games, so I do recommend it if you can get this collection cheap enough. I can't remember what I paid. I could probably look it up, but I'm too lazy. Now we get into Celeste. Finally picked up Celeste physically. I do own a digital version of this game, so this one is more for just the collection, I guess, before it goes stupid expensive. And this game was still not cheap. I think this was like another $80 game, so kind of expensive, but it is what it is. I should have... You can actually get a Japanese copy that has English for like $50 Canadian if you want to go through PlayAsia. But I just ended up getting the US version just because it was actually easier. It was actually easier for me to get one because of how quickly Amazon ships. Then we have the start, again, more import stuff. Okami, yes, this does play in English. Any game that I buy from Japan has to have English, either English subtitles or be playable in full English. This has both. This is also, ironically, an import exclusive. So if you want it, it's kind of a hard one to get a hold of. I was able to see a copy from Amazon, but I got this copy from PlayAsia. Then we have Shantae. This is the Ultimate Edition. This is Half Genie Hero. This, again, is an expensive one for North American collectors if you want an ESRB version of this. From Amazon, you're looking at about over $70 for this one game. Yeah, kind of expensive because it was from limited run. But again, I paid like 50 something, maybe 30 for it from PlayAsia. So, does have English, so I don't care if it's in Japanese, does have English. Another Shantae game. This is Seven Sirens. Again, another limited run game. For this one, I believe, last time I checked from Amazon, it was well over $140. I think it was like 143, I think it was at one point. 150 was the highest I saw from Amazon. But again, plays in English. Save yourself some money. Buy the Japanese version for like $50. That's what I ended up doing. Then we have Out of Gunvolt. This is the first one in the series. Again, plays in full English, sort of like a bullet hell Mega Man type of thing. Really fun game. Need to put more time into it. Then we have X2. This is the same series, just the sequel. Which, again, I typically don't buy a sequel right away. I typically wait a bit, see if I actually enjoy the first game. But when I saw that they had the sequel for a decent price, I was like, you know what? I'll just pick it up. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. Then we have House Flipper. This is an ESRB version again from PlayAsia. I actually wanted a physical copy of it. I could just never find it on like Amazon or Best Buy or GameStop. So once I was able to find it on PlayAsia, I had a couple other things that I was looking at the same time. I was like, you know what, I'll dump this in there as well. I haven't actually played it yet. A lot of these games actually I have not actually played. We're actually getting down to we only have what, 5 games left in the first stack. We have my physical copy of Metroid Prime Remastered. This is an ESRB version. Let me just get my hand out of the way. There you go. There's the ESRB rating. This has a weird story to it, because here's the Japanese version, which was the first version I ordered. The reason why I say it's weird, there is the Japanese cover in English. Yeah, so did I need to buy a Japanese version? Or a US version? No, because it's the exact same cover. This cover is on this version. Yeah, exact same. They just reverse it. So I should have shipped it. I should not have bought this, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I will, because I didn't really know if this cover was going to be on the inside. So I thought, oh, okay, so it's a different cover on the outside. It'll be a different cover on the inside. They're the exact same, just reversed. So, like I said, Japanese version, directly from Japan through eBay. I think I paid like $39 for it. So I was like, you know what, for $39 US, I'll pick it up. I think I paid like 50 something Canadian for it, so still not bad. But a little annoyed that I should not have bought my US version, but it is what it is. Finally picked up Pokemon Arceus. Picked this up during Black Friday. One of the other games I have in here, I picked up on the same day. I do know what game it is, I just don't remember where it is in the giant stack. So, finally picked up Arceus. I've been sort of curious about it. I was hoping that I could pick up a used copy. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick up a used copy before Black Friday. Like I said, there was a few things for Black Friday that I wanted to pick up. I picked up the Pro controller. That was one thing that I definitely wanted to pick up, plus a CD, which I did, and then I just tossed in a couple Switch games, this being one of them, and then there's another one in there as well. Then we have the first of... Yeah, this is the first Japanese Pokemon game that I picked up. This is Shining Pearl. Yeah, I never ended up playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl back in the day. Just never had a DS back in the day. So when I saw that they did a remake, I was sort of curious. I was like, okay, let's see what sort of the prices are and stuff like that. Unfortunately, just didn't really have the budget at the time. So it's like when I saw this for like, I can't remember what I paid for it US wise, but a decent price. I was like, you know what, I'll grab it. So this and this version were from the same seller. So these actually arrived like about a week or so ago. So yeah, so I haven't really put a lot of time into it. I just started playing it now, but I am going to be doing something else later tonight. Not with this game, but with the next game. This was the first game that I bought for the Switch back in 2023, Pokemon Violet. Yes, so there is a funny story for this one as well. Before I switched to this setup here for Switch games. I had a different sort of stand, and unfortunately, the bottom edge here of the case got sort of a little bit ripped, a little bit destroyed. Luckily, it didn't rip the artwork, which I'm very, very happy about. So what I ended up doing was going through Video Game Plus and buying spare cases. So this is actually a spare case that I have. I have like 9 more sitting behind me. So this is actually one that I used a spare case on to make it a little bit nicer, because it was always getting caught on the shelves. So I thought, you know what, put it in a new case. But like I said, this is the original artwork for it from when I bought it back in 2023. And before we move on to the next giant stack, I don't always buy spare cases at all. I just don't, but I'm starting to look at potentially getting some cartridge only games, but I have to make sure that they come with artwork, and I have spare cases. If they do come with artwork, great, and the cartridge, great. But I would prefer buying full, complete versions. I did pick up Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury. Not super expensive. I think I paid like 50 something for it, I think. The funny thing was I was actually looking at Metroid Dread, because I knew I had Prime Remastered coming, so I thought, oh, I'll pick up Dread. Unfortunately, they only had it as a cartridge, and I didn't know if it would come with artwork, and at the time I didn't have the spare cases that I do now. So I thought, you know what, let me pivot. So I picked up Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury instead. This is actually a used copy. I do like picking up used if I can. Saves me a little bit of money, but I don't mind buying new for certain games, like Pokemon, for example. Legends, Arceus was brand new. I think Shining Pearl might have been new. Or it might have been used. I think Shining Pearl might have been used. Violet was definitely used, I know that. But a lot of the games in here are a mix of brand new and used. So, next one, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Yes, finally got around picking Xenoblade Chronicles 3 up. Again, it's been a series that I've sort of kept my eye on, and currently I'm keeping my eye on for the next game in the series. I've actually enjoyed what I've put into this game. I do need to put more time into it. But like I said, I've just been playing a bunch of other games at the moment. Yeah, so this one, again, was off of Amazon, so. And you might be wondering, like, oh, why didn't you get one or the different versions of 2? Price. I think one was, I think it was like $89 or something, and I think 2 was like $85 for like the standard, and then the golden version was, I think, like $95 or something. So I thought, you know what, let me get 3. 3 was still expensive. 3, I think, was like 70 something, and I could get it quicker than the other. So, and it's also a newer release, so I thought, okay, it would have more time to get the controls and everything better. So I was like, you know what, let me get 3. Rune Factory. Yes, another sort of weird game that I have. First one I've actually ever played in the Rune Factory series. Again, one of the series that I've sort of kept my eye on over the last little bit. Again, it might need a little bit of a new case. As you can see, there's a little bit of a pull on the bottom, but it's not too bad. Again, picked this up off of Amazon. So, yeah, need to put more time into it. Now we're getting into some of the weirder stuff I have. Yes, Embers of Miriam. This actually came during my Halo 4 video, actually, a couple days ago. This and another one I ordered. This is from Limited Run, same with the other one. But this is a distributed title, meaning that there is no number on the back. So, again, brand new. Then we have Silent Hope. Another weird sort of dungeon farming type of game. It did come with like the soundtrack and all that, but this is, I just pulled the game out just so then it's sitting in the shelf. So really weird game. Actually kind of expensive. I think this was like $50 something. Then we have Final Fantasy 1-6 Pixel Remastered. Bought actually at the same time that I bought this game, actually. So yeah, so I grabbed this when it was on sale from Amazon for I think $70 I think I paid, rather than like the typical $99.99 that it sells for on Amazon. So finally decided to pick this up. I also at the same time picked up the PS4 version as well from Video Game Plus, whereas this one was from Amazon. Because I never actually ended up playing any of the early Final Fantasy games. The only Final Fantasy game I played for any extended period of time is 15. So I thought, you know what, when I saw this sort of on sale, I was like, you know what, I'll grab it. So it was still expensive, like I said, $70 for it, but it is what it is. Now we come to the most expensive game I ever owned. Ever bought, I should say. Minus physical hardware. Like consoles and that sort of stuff. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. At the time of its release in 2020, I didn't know it was a limited run by Nintendo. So I didn't grab it at the time. I should have grabbed it, even if I didn't have the hardware. This is the one game I would have done that for. I typically don't. If I'm looking for games for hardware that I have, it's easy. But I typically don't buy games for hardware I don't have. It's a waste of time, or not a waste of time. Excuse me. It's a waste of space and money. So for me, I always buy games for hardware that I have. This would be the exception. I would have bought this before I had the hardware because of how expensive it is now. For me, for this game, it was well over $200 for a used copy. But it is what it is. Again, super happy that it's in the collection. But yeah, I would not. If you are looking for it, and you can find it for. Just dropped something off my desk. If you can find it for a decent price, jump on it. But what I'm going to say, good luck. On Amazon, you're looking anywhere between like basically $200 plus. For a copy, like $300 for new. Next one, Mario Odyssey. Yes, again, never owned it at the time that it released, and I bought it during like a sale, basically like from Amazon. I think I paid like $45 or $50 for it, so decent price. I'm pretty much actually almost finished it. Actually, I think I have like a couple more areas left, but other than that, I'm pretty much done it. Here's the other game, the same one that I bought this game at the same time that I bought Pokemon Arceus, the Switch Pro controller, and a CD. Fae Farm. because I had, at the time, I had been playing the demo and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, I could actually see myself playing the full thing. I do enjoy it. Need to put more time into it. And it's from Phoenix Labs, which unfortunately they are sunsetting Dauntless very, very soon, which we will be jumping into. I have downloaded it onto the Switch, so probably within the next couple weeks we will, right before the end of its life, we will be jumping into Dauntless, because I've enjoyed my time with it. But yeah, very sad for them that they're shutting that game down. But who knows? They might make another type of game like Fae Farm or something else. Now, another limited run game, but this one is actually a limited one. So, Lollipop Chainsaw. I actually have. Give me a second here. The original, yes. This is just printed artwork, unfortunately. I did have a spare case for it at the time, but I didn't have artwork for it, so I just printed it. Because when I bought it, it was disc only, so I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying. But would I consider this complete? No, not proper artwork. Even though it is technically proper artwork, it is printed. So I do have an original copy to prove it. There's the disc. So let me put this back. So when I heard that they were doing a remaster basically called Repop, I was kind of interested. And also, it was actually cheaper for me to buy a physical copy than it was for me to buy a digital copy. I think this was like $50 or something. So I was like, you know what, for $50 or something, maybe, I think it might have been a little bit more than that. I think it might have been like 52 at the end of it. Whereas they're asking like 60 something for a digital version. I do have a physical copy. They only made 248 copies for Switch for a physical. If you can see right there. Yeah, 248. So I have the last copy that was made for the Switch. This is the first numbered one that I have from them. There is another one, I think, later that is a distributed one. But again, I have just so many games, as you can see. Like there's another stack right there. Then we have the first import of the collection, Food Girls. I also have its sequel as well, just sitting right on top. So this one is a hard one to get a hold of. They are kind of expensive. Let me grab the sequel. There's the sequel. They're kind of hard to get a hold of. They don't come up that often on Amazon. They are kind of pricey, which is kind of funny. They're like $70 a piece. So I paid for both of them. I paid $150 for both. And this is what I'm saying. I typically don't buy two games at the same time, like the first and the sequel, but in this case I made an exception because I didn't know how often I would be able to find the sequel. So I was like, you know what, I'll jump on it. And this was November 9th when I ordered it. My calendar's still actually set for November of last year, actually. I need to change that. And it didn't arrive until like December 19th because of the mail strike at the time. But they both arrived perfectly, no issues. So these are the first two import games I bought for the Switch, actually. So, like I said, if you can find them, get them. They are hard to find. You can find them on eBay, but I was able to get them through Amazon. So check on eBay or Amazon. But yeah, they are kind of a hard one to get a hold of. But again, I do like having them in the collection. Now we have another distributed title from Limited Run, Nurse Love Obsession, which is actually the most expensive visual novel I own in my collection. This was $106. Yeah. And it has Nurse Love Addiction and Nurse Love Syndrome on it. Haven't played it yet, but again, I did want to get it before it jumped even higher than 106. And you might be wondering, like, why was it $106? Because I had to pay like $20 in shipping. Because it came from Seattle. I couldn't get it anywhere else. That was the only one that I could find. So I was like, you know what? I'll jump on it. Again, very happy to have it in the collection. Yeah, now a lot more. I think the rest of these are, except for one. Yeah, except for one more, or sorry, two more, are from, the rest are from PlayAsia except for two. So let's quickly get through all, actually no, except for three, excuse me. So now we're going to go through more of my import stuff, again, all from PlayAsia. Love Call Me Troji. Again, a lot of visual novels, but I don't mind them. So, again, I do try to pick up games that are relatively affordable. This one wasn't bad. I think this one was like $40. So, not too bad. This one has, even before I show it, this probably will not, and I can guarantee it, will not show up on the channel. The only way that it would show up on the channel is if I age restrict it. Yeah. Because there's another channel who I watch called Physical Paradise, and Jordan, who runs Physical Paradise, basically put out a video talking about Tokyo Clampool. Basically, Nintendo has made putting a lot of games like Tokyo Clampool and a lot of other games like that, made it a little bit more difficult. So they've already canceled a couple games already that were slotted to be released on the Switch, which were, oh, do I own any of those? Not physically. Let me yeah, so basically it's been censored and stuff like that, alongside a couple other games as well, which I can't remember what they were off the top of my head. I'm actually looking up right now what they were. There's a couple others as well. That have been basically banned in a sense, or not banned but censored. due to the new rules, or not rules, but guidelines in North America, I guess. But like I said, there's a couple others as well. So yeah, like I said, there's a couple others that they banned as well, which were PS4 games actually, or Switch. There's some that were like Switch games, but like PS4 stuff, which was a couple Hyper Neptunia games that were basically again censored. So I was basically wanting to get this before it became very, very hard to get a hold of and could get very, very expensive. So PlayAsia again has standard copies available still. I believe they do. I'm not sure, because again, with stuff selling quite quickly, let me do it this way. Yeah, no, they do still have copies for Switch only. They don't have any more copies for Vita. So if you do want it on Switch, you have to get through PlayAsia, because it is an exclusive through PlayAsia. Another one from PlayAsia, Color Displays. This isn't an exclusive. I was just able to find it there a little bit easier. This is an Asian version. Yes. Again, sorry if my dogs are barking. Haven't really played it. Death Road to Canada. Weird sort of RPG type of shooter type of thing. Really weird game. Again, dirt cheap. I think I paid like $20 for it. So I was like, you know what? Not bad price. Then we have Panic in Sweetsland. This again is an Asian version, as you can tell from the rating down below. I haven't actually played it, actually. But again, I buy a lot of games that are either for the collection or for ones that I actually want to play. This is one I wanted to actually play. Maids of the Dead, or Maid of the Dead. Sorry, no, I thought it said Maids of the Dead. Sort of a weird sort of bullet hell type of game. I don't mind those types of games. Now we get into a couple. Oh, wait a minute. I missed one, actually. I was talking about one. Oh, no, I didn't. I thought I did. Now, a couple more visual novels. Nightshade. Very, very expensive. I think I paid like $100. No. Yeah. No, sorry. This one wasn't $100. This was, I think, like $80 something. Again, from PlayAsia. Plays in full English, or at least English subtitles wise. Wanted to get it before it jumped even higher. From what I've heard, very, very good. And also very, very highly rated. Steam Prison. This is the $100 visual novel. Again, wanted to get it. Plays in English. Wanted to get it before it jumped even higher than the $100 that PlayAsia is selling them for. I believe they still have copies available. I know they also have copies of Beyond Steam, which is its sequel. And that Beyond Steam is a little bit cheaper. I think it's like $60 or something. So this one's the more expensive one. Again, you can get it through eBay, but you're paying roughly about the same from what I've seen. So again, very highly rated, very well reviewed. And then we'll go with... This is the other limited run game that I also ordered at the same time that I ordered the other one that's sitting somewhere in one of these two massive piles. So again, I think this one was like $24 or $14 or something like that. So really sort of weird puzzle platformer type of thing. And then one of the more expensive games I have in my collection, I think this is the second most expensive game I've ever bought. After like conversion and stuff like that. So this is the Grisaya trilogy. This is a very hard game to get a hold of. I was able to get through eBay. This is a very hard one to find. Very, very expensive. After shipping and conversion and all that, it was like a $110 game. But again, I did want to get in the collection before it jumped even higher than what it is. And you might be wondering, like, oh, could you have gotten it cheaper on Amazon? It was actually cheaper if I went through eBay. I think Amazon at the time was asking, I think, like 110 plus shipping. So, so I was like, you know what, I'll just go through eBay. And the funny thing is, actually, I actually had the Amazon version just sitting in my cart for a few days, and I was still tempted to go through it. And then it when I went to buy it from Amazon, it disappeared. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going through eBay. So yeah, that is at the moment all 42 Switch games. So yeah, or however many there are. Let me just double check here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So here's 25 games right on this stack here. There's actually 43 games right now, and I'm still waiting, like I said, for a few more to arrive, being Hollow Knight, Let's Go Eevee, Detective Pikachu Returns, and Pokemon Snap. So those will add to the wall behind me. So yeah, so 43 games, which is kind of crazy to say that.